coaches poll is out. Let's talk some actual football. The coaches poll it out. Let's play a little Goldilocks. Too high, too low, just right. How about that?
Yep.
Number one team in the country, receiving 46 first place votes. Georgia Bulldogs. Pat, too high, too low?
Too high.
Ooh.
Too high. One spot too high.
Right.
I would put the Buckeyes number one.
You put the Buckeyes number one. Reason?
I think they got more talent and fewer off-season issues that seem to always follow Georgia. They've been able to play through a lot of them in the years past, but again, I just don't think it's a very good sign for the shape of your program when you are dismissing one of your top receivers right before the start of camp for rather serious allegations, and combine that with all the other car issues and everything. I don't know whether they're as buttoned up as they need to be.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, insulting them at number two.
Yeah.
You just don't believe in them, Pat.
That's it.
Ross would go Buckeyes 1.
Yeah, I'd go Buckeyes 1. The same thing. I feel the same. You got to wonder at some point, as Pat kind of mentioned, when does the off the field stuff kind of creep in to the on the field success there at Georgia? But that's not really why I would put Ohio State 1 over Georgia. I think just the class that Ohio State brought in. I think they're the number one. They're the team to beat. The big thing that stuck out to me, obviously, is the result of realignment in this top 25, right? You got to get to number 10, all the way to number 10 to find a team that's not in the SEC, Big Ten, or that's not named Notre Dame.
So I've said this earlier in the offseason. I kind of would like to go Ohio State 1. I really feel good about the Buckeyes. My only thing is earlier in the year, I thought I'm taking Georgia 1 because I have to see what Will Howard can do at this level. That's my only question. He's the Ohio State quarterback. He's coming in from Kansas State. He was very good there. Ryan Day and staff believe so much in Will Howard that they were, basically ready to just, let the other guys transfer. They got him. Carson Beck, I know what he can do, and I have a little more faith. So that is the only reason I will say Georgia is properly done and Ohio State's properly done at 2. But I'm certainly not going to fight you guys on the saying Buckeyes should be 1, Georgia 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. There's we still got to see it happen from Will Howard.
I'm guessing he'll be fine, more than fine. I am guessing. But until I see it, I'm taking Carson Beck. Number 3 is Oregon. The Ducks come in at 3. No first place votes, though. Too high, too low, Pat?
Just right. That's where I would put them. I think they're the best of the – I think there's 2 teams that are not head and shoulders above everyone else, but I think noticeably ahead, and it's Georgia and Ohio State. And then best of the rest, I would go with the Ducks right there. Also need a transfer quarterback to come through, but Dylan Gabriel's been playing since like 1978. We've seen what he can do.
Yeah. He's up there. What is this? His third school in 4 years. Certainly a lot of experience there, and surrounded by pretty dang good players, right? They've been bringing in a haul there, recruiting wise, in Oregon, and right there with Ohio State as far as the NIL output there at Oregon with Nike behind them. And I would agree with Pat. They feel right. They feel right at 3. To me, it was, you could flip-flop on Oregon and Texas at 3 and 4.
Well, I will do that. I'll take Texas 3 and Oregon 4. Quinn Ewers, again, no doubts. I think Texas is loaded up. They brought in more wide receiver talent. Got to play in the SEC this year. Oregon's playing the Big Ten. So, again, this is some lame stuff here. But I would take Texas at 3. Controversial hot take. Hook 'em 3. Ducks disrespected at 4. Number 5, Alabama Crimson Tide. No votes for first place. Too high, too low.
That's a rarity.
Yeah.
I wonder the last time. I mean, probably like
pre-Saban or Saban's first year. Yeah.
Saban's maybe even
7-0-8.
Saban's second year when they were coming off of like 7-5.
Yeah.
That'll be the last time, I bet. So I would say a little too high. That's another one where just feel like I got to see it in action with the new coaching staff and, fairly significant amount of player turnover. They've got talent. I think Jalen Milroe is going to have a great year. Brought in Jeremy Bernard, receiver from Washington, and some other guys from Washington that are going to help him. But 5 feels just a little high there. I'd probably put Ole Miss, who is 6, ahead of them, even though we have seen Lane Kiffin fail to beat Alabama a lot.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think there's 2 or 3 spots maybe too high. There's always going to be an adjustment with a new coach, a completely new culture there. Not to say the vibes are bad, but just different. And I think that may result in maybe a loss or two that they're not used to. They certainly have the talent and the explosiveness in all 3 phases, but just because of the newness and the changes, I feel like that's a little high to rank any program with a brand new coach.
Too high. Great talent, though. Here's my thing. 5, I'm looking at this thing. 5, I'm going to now break the rules of this game because it's kind of boring. 5's Alabama, 6 Ole Miss, 7 Notre Dame, 8 Michigan, 9 Penn State, 10 Florida State, 11 Missouri, 12 LSU, 13 Utah, 14 Clemson, and I'll go all the way to 15 Tennessee. You give me 5 to 15, and I think it's just a roll of dice.
Yeah. I'd buy that.
I'm not
schedule injuries.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Alabama's got better talent than Tennessee, and so these are the extremes, 5 to 15, but they're playing them at Tennessee. I like if you inverse the or whatever, reversed or whatever the proper term would be, and I read them back the other way, I would be like, yeah, okay. I just think that was 10 or 11, I guess teams would be 10 teams would be just pretty much it. Where this is where the season is going to be fun, and then there'll be some of these ones outside of it. I think Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas are going to be there. And then everybody else, it's like, all right, who's getting in this playoff?
Well, that, on the less than 1 in a billion chance that this actually stays as the top 25 at the end of the season, Missouri at 11 and LSU at 12 would be out of the playoff. Utah would be in it as the highest team from the Big 12. And TBD would be in it for the group of 5 because we don't have a team ranked in the top 25 from outside of the power conferences this year.
Memphis is the highest receiving votes.
Yep.
Yeah.